Forget walking once a day. Forget the 10,000-step goal. Forget the morning fasted cardio. A 2016 University of Otago study published in Diabetologia tracked adults with prediabetes and type 2 diabetes for 2 full weeks and found one specific 10-minute walking habit that crushed post-meal blood sugar 22% more than a single 30-minute walk, even when the total walking time was identical. In the next 30 days, here is exactly how that one habit rewires your blood sugar, your gut hormones, your sleep, and your body composition, without you ever stepping into a gym, lifting a single weight, or changing what you eat. The habit is a 10-minute walk inside 30 minutes of finishing each meal. Not before, not later, inside 30 minutes after. The Reynolds 2016 study used continuous glucose monitors on 41 adults at risk for type 2 diabetes. Group A walked 30 minutes once a day. Group B walked 10 minutes after each of the 3 main meals. Same total walking time, same diet. The post-meal group showed a 22% greater reduction in post-meal glucose excursions, and the effect was strongest after dinner, the meal that wrecks most people overnight. A 2022 sports medicine meta-analysis by Buffey confirmed the mechanism. Even 2 to 5 minutes of light walking after meals activates skeletal muscle, GLUT4 transporters, pulling glucose straight out of the bloodstream before it triggers an insulin spike. Your daily walk doesn't fix this. Post-meal walking does. Here is the day-by-day breakdown of what happens to your body across 30 days of 3 10-minute post-meal walks. Day 1, you finish dinner and walk for 10 minutes. Within 5 minutes, GLUT4 transporters embedded in your skeletal muscle cells migrate to the cell surface and start pulling glucose straight out of your bloodstream. This is an insulin-independent pathway. Your muscle cells extract glucose just from the act of contracting. No pancreatic hormone required. It is the same emergency mechanism endurance athletes use to refuel during a race, but you are activating it gently after dinner instead of sprinting. By minute 8, your blood sugar curve is 22% flatter than if you had sat down. Day 2, the GLUT4 response is faster. Your muscles are already primed from yesterday. Day 3, your fasting insulin starts to drop because your pancreas no longer needs to overshoot to clear post-meal glucose. Day 4, your liver reduces gluconeogenesis overnight, meaning you wake up with lower morning glucose than you have in years. Day 5, your vagus nerve activates more reliably after meals, switching you from sympathetic stress mode into parasympathetic rest and digest mode. Day 6, gut motility improves and bloating decreases. By day 7, your morning fasting glucose has dropped 3 to 5 milligrams per deciliter, your post-meal energy crashes have disappeared, and you no longer feel that brain fog after lunch. You are 7 days in, and your metabolic operating system has already rebooted. Day 8 is when the gut hormone cascade kicks into high gear. GLP-1, the same hormone that Ozempic mimics, surges after each post-meal walk. GLP-1 slows gastric emptying, amplifies satiety, and reduces hunger between meals. Your body starts producing the very hormone that pharmaceutical companies charge $1,200 a month to inject. The molecular structure of endogenous GLP-1, the one your gut releases for free after a post-meal walk, is nearly identical to the GLP-1 analog inside Ozempic and Wegovy. The only difference is timing and dose, both of which a daily walking habit naturally optimizes. Day 9 PYY, another natural satiety hormone, climbs, and you notice you stop eating sooner without trying. Day 10, your liver triglyceride content begins reducing. By day 12, HDL cholesterol starts climbing, while small, dense LDL particles, the genuinely dangerous kind, drop. Day 13, your inflammatory markers, high sensitivity CRP, interleukin-6, tumor necrosis factor, begin to fall measurably, the same anti-inflammatory effect resistance training delivers. By day 14, your morning fasting glucose has dropped a full 8 to 12 milligrams per deciliter from baseline. Your fasting insulin is lower. Your HOMA-IR insulin resistance score has moved into a better range. Most importantly, your hunger and energy now feel completely different. Stable across the day, no crashes, no cravings at 3 p.m., no second helpings impulse at dinner. None of this required eating less. You just walked for 10 minutes, 3 times a day. Week 3 is when the body composition shifts start showing up. Day 15, your visceral fat, the dangerous fat wrapped around your abdominal organs, begins reducing measurably. This is the fat most strongly linked to cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and dementia, and it is the first fat your body burns when post-meal glucose control improves. Day 16, your waist circumference at the navel shrinks a ½ inch to a full inch, even though the bathroom scale may not move much. The body composition change is happening underneath the surface, even though total weight is stable. Day 18, your HDL cholesterol is up and your triglycerides are down. Day 19, HRV, heart rate variability, climbs 10 to 15%, reflecting better autonomic balance after each meal. Day 20, your sleep architecture upgrades. You spend more time in deep wave sleep because your glucose is not spiking and crashing through the night. By day 21, your morning cortisol response normalizes. You wake up without an alarm. You go to bed without a struggle. Your blood sugar is no longer driving the show. Your nervous system is back in charge. The final week is where everything compounds. Day 22, mitochondrial density in your skeletal muscle increases measurably. More mitochondria mean better energy production, faster recovery, and lower oxidative damage. Day 24, your VO2 max begins climbing. Resistance training raises VO2 max through cardiac output. Post-meal walking raises it through mitochondrial efficiency and improved peripheral glucose uptake, a completely different pathway than running or weight training. Day 26, your brain insulin sensitivity climbs. Higher brain insulin sensitivity correlates with better memory consolidation, faster word recall, and lower long-term Alzheimer's risk. So much so that Alzheimer's disease is now sometimes called type 3 diabetes in the neurology literature. The same insulin resistance that drives type 2 diabetes in your muscles, when it shows up in your brain neurons, drives the cognitive decline that defines Alzheimer's. Post-meal walking is one of the few interventions that improves insulin sensitivity in both compartments simultaneously. This is one of the most under-discussed benefits of glucose control in the entire health literature. Day 27, your skin tone improves because reduced glycation means fewer advanced glycation end products damaging your collagen and elastin. The aging mechanism nobody warns you about, sugar-protein cross-linking, slows down. Your skin literally looks younger. Day 29, the visible visceral fat reduction shows up at the navel. Your blood pressure has dropped 4 to 6 millimeters of mercury, and your fasting triglycerides are meaningfully lower. Day 30, your HbA1c trajectory has shifted enough that your next quarterly blood test will likely show a 0.3 to 0.5 point drop. You have effectively walked yourself out of a pre-diabetes risk profile without diet change, without medication, without ever stepping into a gym. Here is the practical part. The window is the first 30 minutes after you finish eating. Walk for at least 10 minutes. Light pace, about 100 steps per minute. Not a power walk, not a stroll. Brisk enough that you feel your pulse rise, but slow enough that you could hold a short conversation. 3 meals a day equals 3 walks. 30 minutes total, spread out exactly when your blood sugar needs the help most. If the weather is bad, walk indoors, up and down a hallway, around your kitchen island, around your office. The mechanism is mechanical. Your skeletal muscle pulls glucose because it is contracting. The setting does not matter. The post-dinner walk is the most important one because your overnight glucose level dictates your morning fasting glucose, which dictates whether you slide into prediabetes or away from it. Track your morning glucose with a glucometer or a continuous glucose monitor for the first 2 weeks to see the curve flatten in real time. A basic glucometer costs $20 at any pharmacy. A continuous glucose monitor like Libre or Stelo runs about $100 for 2 weeks and will show you, hour by hour, what your blood sugar is doing after every meal, with and without the walk. The visual feedback is what locks in the habit, because once you watch your post-meal spike collapse on the graph, the 10-minute walk feels less like a chore and more like a magic trick you're running on your own body. 3 10-minute walks, 30 minutes total, Zero equipment, zero cost. The cheapest, most overlooked metabolic intervention in the entire medical literature. And you can start it after your next meal. Science made easy, every week.